quiet seaside town, an evil lain to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Gold is the name of the podcast. My mind blanked for a second. I'm Lars, Casteen. I don't even know what this show is anymore. Joined today, as always, for this second vacation episode where I'm in a different place and we're struggling to record things, but we are getting it done for your tabletop role-playing game entertainment enjoyment, as always, by the following people. Armatt Humphreys is here.
Hello. Good that time.
Good that time. David the Tin Man Chernicoff is here.
Good that time.
Zoe Chernicoff is here as well.
Hello, good that time.
And Robin Lange, rounding out the crew. How are you doing, Robin?
I'm great. Good that time.
Good that time to you and yours and everybody that you know. Zoe, what are we talking about? What's the story?
All right, it's more of a question.
Okay.
I don't know that I have answers, but I think together we can come up with our own answers on which we disagree. So here it is. What is the pumpkin spice of summer?
Whoa.
Good question.
Right?
Blue raspberry icy.
Blue raspberry icy.
That's a pretty good answer.
A very quick answer from
Not
David.
trendy enough, but I like it.
So what is it that makes pumpkin spice? It's that it's like in every single thing that is sold during that season, right? Like that's an important part of what we're talking about.
Wait, are we still talking about this? I thought I answered this already.
It doesn't, if there was a pumpkin spice of summer that was super obvious, I think we'd all be like, it's blank, and we'd move on.
And only David
I don't think it will be as ubiquitous, but like maybe we can identify it here. And like we'll be trend spotters and people will look up to us, and this will be the moment when we call an important thing like the pumpkin spice of summer.
I have two nominees. One is super broad, super boring, but maybe just the most obvious answer is lemonade the answer? Is it just lemonade? Is everything just lemonade in the summer?
Love lemonade.
And my second pitch is slightly more esoteric, and that is cucumber.
Okay. Or cucumber mint.
Cucumber mint.
Here's what I'm going to add into the mix. Strawberry rhubarb.
Ooh.
But it's kind of springy. It's like an early summer combo.
Strawberry, I think, is definitely a summer flavor.
But strawberry is a real thing, is the problem with strawberry, right? Or like, so is cucumber.
I'll have you know that blue raspberry is just as real.
Blue raspberry is great, but that's a year-round thing for me.
It comes from the blue raspberry mines of northern Asia.
It is one of the earliest artificial flavors, actually.
Oh.
I have a pitch. What about corn on the cob as a summer
corn-flavored things?
Yeah. Let's talk starches, honestly. Like, it's gone unaddressed for too long.
Don't tell
frankly.
me that you've managed to go this long into summer without going into Starbucks and getting a sweet corn latte. I will call you a liar to your
Honestly,
face.
that sounds kind of amazing. I would definitely try a sweet corn latte.
Is it just iced coffee?
Ooh, it might just be
Just
ice.
plain iced coffee? It's just ice.
I've recently started buying a brand of frozen novelty at my grocery store called Helados Mexicos. I guess I might be getting,
Okay.
It might not be helados. They have a coconut flavored ice cream bar, like a coconut bar.
You mentioned these before, yeah.
Well, I might like to move some of these options into our Discord and have people weigh in there. But I think among us, the front row, I'm making this up as I go. I thought of this question this afternoon, and I thought this is a good group to chat about it with. I think our front runner is coconut. Other options include blue raspberry, strawberry, strawberry rhubarb, and lemonade.
Watermelon? Watermelon is a summer.
Oh, that's a good one.
Coming in last minute.
It just occurred to me.
Support us at the $20 Patreon level.
uh-huh.
You can also actually buy 50 extra votes to put into the poll.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's do a little bit of show promotion. We're breaking off of 5. This is episode 160. It's time for us to get into letting you know what's happening with us, how you can support the show, the things that are going on around our neck of the woods. And here's the situation. It's really, really simple. The Patreon that we have set up over at patreon.com/tabletopgold is the number one way that you can support us. If you enjoy our show, if you want us to keep going, if you want us to make better things, then that's the place to go to throw us some dollars in support. And you're doing this for no reason other than that you like us, right? No, wrong. Right. You're doing it because we're also getting you great premium content that we are putting out on a weekly basis, right? That's why you're doing it, is because you're getting our best stuff. Can I tell you about some of the stuff that we're putting out on our Patreon these days?
Please do, Lars.
I wish it would.
The main thing that we've been putting out lately, we've been putting out a ton of Goldmine Rewind episodes. This is the show where it's sort of like the companion series for early episodes of our show. We break off like 10 episodes at a time. The first episode of Goldmine Rewind takes you through from episode 1 to episode 10. We have been adding on to those to try to catch up with our current place in the show. And these episodes are tons of fun. It's like stories about why it is that we play games, the things that were happening at the earliest moments in the show, where our characters came from, that kind of stuff. They're fun, funny, interesting, and often deep conversations. I'm saying it. Sometimes things get real on Goldmine Rewind, and you're going to want to check it out. And on top of that, every other week we have the Goldmine, which is like, we talk about the things that are happening on the show right now. And they're a great companion for a series that you know and love. So what you do is you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/tabletopgold. You can throw us $5 if you want audio, $10 if you want video and audio. You can watch things, listen to things however you want to, and you can support us at tiers all the way up to ludicrous levels to show us ludicrous amounts of support, getting you ludicrous benefits. It's a great time. Join the Patreon. We also have the Discord. You can vote on various summer flavors there if you want to, apparently. You can find our Discord link at any of our social media places that we have stuff. And that's a great time too. And with that, let's get into it. Let's move on and play our game.
Yes.
Your search for the missing members of the Star Watch here on the 8th floor of Belcora Haravex's sprawling fortress has brought you to the murky waters of a vast underground lake. A journey by rowboat has already visited upon you perils, natural and otherwise, but your latest stop is something new. You've disembarked onto a soggy pier set into an alcove in the natural cavern's wall. This pier leads to a stone structure covered with strange shadows flitting across its walls in the shifting mists. As you were considering your next steps, those shadows disappeared for a brief moment and then crawled across the surface of the swampy water before materializing behind you. And now, the shadows have taken the form of a shimmering ghost-like figure with a long, menacing reach. 3 members of the Star Watch team are still missing: the grunt Torpor Wedge, the magic user Bevrin Dralfo, the captain Margot Jensen, and also your friend from the Otari Town Guard, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
I love the name Bevrin Dralfo so much, by the way. I have like multiple times thought about that name outside of us recording and just been like, yeah, that's a good fantasy name. Drelfo, get over here.
Hey, as we're going to be doing combat shortly, I just want to mention a couple of other things. Bertie Graham is in the bag of holding right now. She is a 2-foot-tall frog sitting in the most comfortable chair that you have, nestled inside of your bag of holding, breathing from a magical bottle with an endless supply of air. A number of you are already drained. You have been drained in combat with these bodaks, these creatures that like loathe life and suck the life out of you just by looking at you. So your bodies are going to be significantly weakened and will be so for days unless you're able to get some immediate magical attention. It's a situation that you haven't been in before, right? Like this party has not had the sort of like long-term debilitating condition put upon them. And as you get deeper and deeper into this like murky, poisonous swamp, I wonder if it is starting to get to the four of you. And that's not made better at all by this enormous, undead, shimmering, incorporeal thing that has just materialized out of the water, reached his hand towards you and said, "I got you." And with that, let's roll for initiative. Yeah. Roll for initiative.
That art for that monster is so awesome.
It's so scary. These like trailing red eyes like coming out from underneath this smoke-filled cloak. And its hand sinisterly reaching towards the viewer. This creature is large also. You guys know from either past experiences or from reading the rules of this game that large creatures tend to have like a 10-foot reach. So Istin has the sense that this thing could reach out and attack him from the position that it's in right now.
Well, Istin could do the same, so he's,
Oh no, Trill's right in front of it.
Trill's in front of him.
That's not great.
Okay, let's see how everybody did on their initiative roll, starting with Zoe. Zoe, how did you do with Ao?
I guess Ao's still amped up and wanting to protect Birdie. That was a 30.
Nice.
Really, really fast. What I imagine potentially happened is like you were searching around, I believe, before any of this happened. These shadows that were like flitting across this wall, I just want to reinforce this for you, disappeared as though they went somewhere else. Then they remanifested, slid across the water, and then popped out. So perhaps Ao is tracking every step of that process along the way.
Oh, I like that.
How did Armat, how did Istin do on this initiative?
not so great. Evidently, he got a 5 on the die for a 17. So I think he was like looking at the beautiful stonework on the dock and being like, oh, I wonder how they do that. I mean, do they get masons down here? But, well, they'd have to use the elevator, I suppose.
Istin, paying attention to the wrong thing, it sounds like.
That's the name of his memoir.
Robin, how did Trill do? And let's get a battle cry from Trill if you want to do that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, Trill did okay. She did 28, and she realized as this thing forms into something more solid as it can be, being a specter of whatever form, Trill lets out her battle cry. And that demoralize is a 35.
35 versus will DC, that is a success. So this creature becomes frightened 1 and flinches back for a second as this blast of scary musical energy permeates it.
Fabulous. And that immediately lets me know what my next action is.
That was a huge roll, I feel like, for that demoralize, because also being frightened means that AO off the blocks gets this creature off guard to AO.
Very helpful.
Which is obviously very helpful.
I love this feat so much.
The best. It's
awesome.
It's so good.
So long as they have a mind and can be frightened.
How did Mag do?
Mag also definitely focused on what was in front of her, not what was behind her. It's only a 21. She was not watching her 6.
I want to drill down one more time on what Drained is doing for this combat. I want this to be front of mind for you because I'm looking at these numbers and they're telling a huge story for me. What Drained does is it reduces your constitution, which affects your fortitude saves, but it also affects your total hit points. Ao and Trill are already some of the squishier members of this group. What are your current hit points?
Let's see. Trill is full up at 64, but she is now drained 2.
And that 64 is the reduced maximum.
That 64 is after. Yeah. Yeah, her max is higher than that.
And what is Ao's hit points right now? You just so we have the number out. In
Ao
the
has 72, down a couple as well.
Trill's the tiny one. Trill's the really squishy one.
What are Mag's hit points right now?
144. And then when I rage, there's another 15 temporary hit points on top of that.
Oh my God.
More than double
That's
Trill's.
awesome.
I was so excited when I got into the high 60s.
There is such a stark difference in what is going to happen if, depending on who gets hit, is what I'm trying to tell you. This is, some of you can take hits, some of you can't. Let's see what happens when you kick off at the top of round 1. Here's the situation. All 4 of you are standing on a soggy pier. There's a door right in front of Ao, and the pier recedes back behind her about 15 feet, and this large spectral figure is looming, arms outstretched, whispering some sort of demoralizing statements about how it's tracked you down, how it's hunted you. Ao is going to get the first turn off of this combat. What is Ao going to do?
Ao is going to try and mess this large undead, as they're labeled on our screen, up. Do we feel like Ao had chompers out? I think not, because we were scouting, is my take.
I, generally speaking, think you guys have weapons out unless you're doing something specific like...
I guess that's true, right? We're at the door, we're ready. Okay, so Ao is going to do a classic early fight move and fire at least 1 arrow at this ghosty, and we'll see what happens and go from there. So she gets a quick strike by arrow at the ghost. That is a 25.
That hits. Because of the combination of Trill demoralizing it, because it's off guard to you, because it's frightened, and because you have the Dread Striker feat that makes it off guard to you. So that is exactly a hit. You manage to let an arrow into the center of its incorporeal mass. So go ahead and roll damage.
That is 18 points of damage.
And I've got some bad news for you. Because it seems as though the precision damage that gets added on by your sneak attack does nothing to this incorporeal creature. And this creature also resists the physical damage, so you do 0 damage to it. Your arrow passes through harmlessly.
Interesting.
Wait,
Oh
it
boy.
resists all physical damage?
I got you, Mag.
No,
Don't worry.
Sorry, it's a combination. It's a combination. It's immune to all precision damage.
And some physical damage. I got you.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
Not great. Okay, so I'm not sure I have anything on me that does sort of undead, non-physical damage. If I do, I guess I have a ghost charge.
That'll do her, I think.
Could she fire the ghost charge like an arrow? That's probably pushing it. Okay, then I guess realizing that this ghosty is that the arrow did nothing, even though she is excellent at all things and a master of archery. She reaches in a different pouch than the one where the teeth are, which helpfully has a little a lightning bolt and a plus sign and a ghost embroidered on it. Mag has done that.
Happy to help.
And then she throws the ghost charge at this creature. That's a 29 to hit.
That hits,
Nice.
which
Love it.
is huge.
Yeah. And that seems to be a combined 22 points of regular damage, and then I feel like I'm looking at an embroidered bag. Mag has made 2 splash setting sign damage.
Okay, so it's a vitality damage. It's 22 total. And you're still doing precision damage because of your sneak attack. So it's resisting it's immune to all that damage. So 18 points of damage. all of this works as the ghost is reaching out to you, and it starts sizzling as all of these salts that burst out of these ghost charges burn into it. And this ghost now weaving back and forth in front of you at the back of the pier, looking at Trill, reaches its hand out towards her. And you, Trill, you just feel this blast of cold energy as its fingers extend towards your hand, and it reaches at you with a 27 to hit.
Why Trill? She's done nothing to it yet. But thankfully, because it's a
That's not true. That's just
what
not
has
true.
Trill done? She hasn't attacked.
She's frightened
but
it.
she has. Have we considered that a?
Wait a minute. We're litigating whether or not I get to attack the creature that's right in front
Hold
of
on
me?
a sec.
That's what we're
Hold
doing?
on a sec. I'm asking if we would consider battle cry as a hostile act.
I'd say yes.
Okay.
You're screaming in this creature's face, trying to frighten it. I've in the past made it so that like dirge of doom is not hostile, but I think it's a hard sell here.
Okay. Figured
To
I'd
be
ask. That's a tricky thing that those two kind of cancel each other out. I can either hold on to empathetic plea or I can do the other.
Made trickier when you're in a combat with one enemy.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I had to ask. Worst thing you can say is no.
I get it.
So it hits for 20. So it attacks for 27.
The attack roll is a 27.
That is a hit.
Yeah. Okay. So 18 points of void damage come towards Trill, and also I need Trill to make a fortitude save.
Okay, fortitude saves are not great for Trill, especially not when she rolls a 4, but hold on just a second. No, none of those hero point things help me here. I'm still going to hero point that, though, because that's, I believe, a critical failure, because Trill rolled a 13. So I'm going to go ahead and reroll using a hero point.
And we're breaking off a 5.
Okay, that's a
with this
22.
episode, right?
Okay. What that means is you feel this creature reach its hand into you and continues draining you. Trill is now drained 3.
Jesus.
And this creature seems to go like it is draining your life out, and it gets some temporary hit points to bolster its hit point total. Pretty bad.
That sucks.
What it's going to do next is it's going to do that one more time. It's going to strike Trill once more with a map strike. That is a 25 to hit.
Because it just barely hits me.
Okay. So we hear some damage coming to Trill. 19 more points of void damage.
Okay.
And I need you to once more make a fortitude
Oh,
save.
this is not good, guys. That's a critical failure. Oof. That's an 11.
Trill is now drained 4.
Cool.
Whoa.
Cool.
Yikes.
We may have
Yikes.
to try and paddle away from this thing.
Yeah, Trill's almost dead.
And this ghostly figure is going to scream in Trill's face to try to intimidate her after 2 quick strikes. You will become like me. That is a 33 to demoralize.
That's a critical success.
Trill is now frightened 2.
So she's drained 4 and frightened 2?
Yeah, Trill's useless. Cool.
Well, only on fortitude or constitution stuff.
It's now Trill's
Which
turn.
she's never been the...
Just on a hand.
Well, this is where we find out if it has an attack of what is it? Not attack.
You could
Reactive
also
strike.
Reactive strike.
You could delay, and we could try to put some.
The problem is, I am where everyone needs to be to hit it, and Mag can't do anything.
Could swim. Could move past you guys and pull you into the boat, and try to get away.
I wanted to try and give Mag ghostly weapon, but Trill can't get next to Mag. Also, there's no spot next to Mag.
I could jump in the water, and you could reach out into the water and do it.
Istin can reach the monster from where he is too.
Now,
I
is
don't know if
Istin
that
going to
factors in.
do-
And maybe shove him, shove him back with the
Well,
staff.
is Istin planning on doing only
I
magical attacks or a physical attack as well?
Well, I could do a spell strike.
And spell strike is physical, right?
Right. So the ghostly touch would aid that going through, I think.
Okay, so I think that's what Trill's going to do, honestly, right now. So Trill starts to feel drained, and she reaches behind her, and she reaches for Istin's staff, and she casts Ghostly Weapon.
As you cast a spell, the ghost reaches out and tries to attack you.
Cool. So it wouldn't have mattered what she did.
dang.
She was going to get hit.
It's a 29 to hit.
That hits.
16 points of damage to Trill.
Okay, Trill's unconscious. Trill falls down.
Dang.
That's Trill.
Trill. Trill, unconscious and dying 1. Not a critical
not
strike that
great.
brought her down.
And I'm assuming that means the spell didn't get cast either, so that's not good either.
That's right. Trill moves on the initiative tracker before the ghost, and it is now Mag's turn. As Mag sees Trill crumple to the ground, what is she going to do?
Can't even get her in the bag of holding because I think she'd need to be conscious to breathe from the bottle of air.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the medic that's in there might be able to help.
Oh my
Freddie Graham
gosh,
safer?
so good.
So Lars, talk me through this.
Bertie the Frog
If I run
Boy.
up and put Trill in the bag of holding, would the doctor that's currently hanging out inside of it be able to either administer her bottled air to keep her alive, treat her wounds, or both?
It's such an interesting question
Thank you.
that you've asked me. I think that she does not, there is no way for her to get into the bag of holding based on what we said last time, that the bag of holding is full in terms of people now that Birdie is in there.
Yeah.
However, you do bring up a great point that you have a medic in
Right.
your
Like,
bag.
could I use an action to pull the medic out to treat Trill's wounds at some point?
Although Ao's good at treating
Oh.
wounds too at this point.
I can help once we
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
my turn. We're just
Yeah.
like
I don't know.
I think you guys doing
Yeah.
some damage and my helping is probably a better use of time. I will get to Trill before the creature, the large undead, does.
Yeah.
It's like mechanically, I don't know if this is the smartest thing, but like Trill being unconscious at the end of this pier is not something that I think Mag can fix herself. So, all right. So she'll move to the end of the pier. I'm sorry, this turn isn't crisper. It's just a lot to think about. I'm thinking about saving Trill. I'm thinking about hitting it. I'm thinking about shoving it away. I'm thinking about,
Well, I can help you with one of those.
yeah.
Incorporeal creatures, just in the rules for how incorporeal creatures work, can't be targeted with athletic maneuvers.
Right. So I'm not going
Your
to
hands
trip
would
it.
pass right through them.
I'm not going to be able to trip it. I'm not going to be able to grab it. All that stuff is off the table. I'm thinking about getting in the boat and rowing away. I'm thinking about opening the door and like throwing Trill through it just to get her out of harm's way.
I think if we can get Trill to the back line,
We'll be able to just
she'll be okay.
bonk it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I mean, and I'm just going to do some barbarian stuff and hope these dice are good. Start by raging, which I think under the circumstances seems pretty reasonable.
And you got it for free at the
Checks
beginning
out.
of at initiative.
Yes, because they fixed the game. So my first action
Yes,
will be
because they
moving to
fixed
the edge,
game. Exactly.
the edge of the pier, and then I will do a two-handed Earthbreaker strike. Hope for a decent die roll. There we go. Thank you. That's an 18 on the roll. That is a 35 to hit.
Yes, that definitely hits. You feel the Earthbreaker find something in this floating ghostly figure shimmering back and forth in front of you.
No crit though.
No crit.
It's not
Woof.
frightened anymore.
Here's damage. Pretty nice damage roll. It's 28 damage.
You feel like not all of that gets through, but your attacks are getting something done.
Right. And I guess I just hit it again. This seems like a really woeful response. And it's a 17 to miss. Not.
Yeah, that 17 to miss does succeed in missing. It does it.
Yeah.
It gets it done.
It was the perfect.
It's successful unsuccess. Okay, well, that is my super cool turn.
Well, if I were an impartial viewer in this situation regarding your super cool turn, I would tell you that I think it is actually pretty cool for Mag to be on the front lines now instead of Trill. Like, I think
Yes,
that's genuinely a very positive outcome.
144 hit points is...
That's what you want. But
Yeah,
I want to tell
exactly.
you something. As Mag advanced upon this creature down the pier, she felt a strange presence around her, and I need you to make a fortitude save.
31.
That's a success, which means that you are immune to this strange presence for 24 hours.
So it's a
Nice.
success, and then Juggernaut rounds it up to crit success. Is there anything else that
Yeah.
any other goodies?
Nothing special about crit success or it's the same, but it's still
Same.
good.
Okay. Thank you.
Mag jumps across the pier, 2 quick strikes from the Earthbreaker, and it is now Isthan's turn. Isthan, I'm going to have you make the same fortitude save as you start your turn within this strange aura around this creature.
You got it. So he steals himself. Crit success. Rolled a 20.
Okay. So both Mag and Isthan stare at this strange wraith-like figure swinging its arms around and just whoosh, 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 darting them at all of you. And you shake it off. You shake this strange presence off, and both of you are immune now to this condition.
Can I ask a question? Would you
Please.
allow me to use the reposition action on Trill to move her to the back line next to AO? I know it's an attack technically, but...
Yeah, that's absolutely fine with me.
Oh, awesome. Then easy answer. First action, reposition Trill.
Thank you.
I was thinking probably here or one of the unoccupied squares on beside AO, so maybe she could get a battle medicine on her.
If you critically succeed, you'll be able to move her 10 feet. And given how bad her fortitude is, we're just going to make this a straight up check. So given how bad her fortitude is, I think there's a really good
Beautiful.
chance you'll be able to do that.
All right. Come on, baby. 33.
33 versus Trill's fortitude DC at this point of 17 is a critical success. So you're able to grab a hold of her body and sweep her back behind you.
Beautiful. Then Isthan is going to... This seems like it's kind of a tough fight. So he's going to cast Slow and try and see if he can get this thing's action economy a little hurting.
Okay.
So it needs to make a DC 24 fortitude save.
Okay, this magic wraps around this incorporeal creature and starts squeezing onto it as it makes this fortitude save. I rolled a 17 on the die for a 33.
Okay, well, that's a success, but it slowed one for a round at least, and maybe that'll give us time to rebound back and turn the tides of this fight.
They need turning.
It's now the top of round 2. The situation geographically is similar. All 4 of you are on this pier, but Trill has been moved back onto the furthest reaches of the pier after she passed out from a flurry of attacks from this ghost-like figure.
Phew.
It is now Ao's turn, as Ao is on this wider part of the dock, furthest away from this strange creature, and Trill is right next to her. What is Ao going to do?
She's going to reach over to Trill and do battle medicine on her.
Okay.
Trill! You got to stay with us. And that's 19 points of healing for Trill.
Trill takes a deep breath as her eyes flutter open.
It's still going on, Trill. Stay back. And Ao has one. Is battle medicine one action or two? I never have used it. One. Look at me with 2 actions left. The first thing Ao is going to do then is do recall knowledge on this thing to see if she can learn anything about it beyond the whole thing where it's super hard to hurt.
Yeah, give me a religion check, please.
What about not that?
Okay, I'm
Does
listening.
it feel astrological? Does it feel...
Sure. The DC will change, but you can give me whatever check you want to.
Occultism?
I think occultism could do a little bit of something.
Okay. It's just that religion's really, and I mean this, absolutely my worst skill.
Yeah.
Miss Vadim at a time like this.
Okay.
So, Ao looks at this creature and knows a few things about it. This is a creature called a wraith. This is a specific type of wraith known as a dread wraith. These are known for hating life, draining life out of things. This seems to be a theme that is developing among the undead creatures that you are finding deeper and deeper down into this dungeon. A loathing of life as you're getting closer to the source of this like strange void energy, right? You know that dread wraiths are... do you have a question for me? Do you have 2 questions for me, actually?
I want to know saves that they might be weak to and anything else that would be useful in hurting it.
Okay. You get the sense that this creature is relatively weak of the mind. Its will saves are low. So if you want to affect it, you can affect it via its will, via attacking its mind. Another thing that you know about these creatures is that they spawn new wraiths when they kill creatures. So anything they kill, they can drain extra life out of it and bring it back as a wraith.
That explains its remark from when Trill went down.
And you got 1 more action.
She is going to pull out and scroll.
Okay. And scroll hits Ao's hands, and it is now Trill's turn. Trill, slightly safer distance away from this creature, but on the ground, prone, wounded 1, drained 4, frightened 2. What is Trill going to do?
Okay, so the first thing Trill's going to do then is upon waking, getting this sense of renewed vigor, Trill is going to Lingering Comp, try and help everyone now. She's further away for Courageous Anthems. Let's go ahead and do that. And that's a 32.
32 is a success. Would have been a critical success if not for the fact that your voice shakes with fear as you're doing so.
Yes, being frightened too does not help. But yay, so everyone's got some Lingering Comp now, or some Courageous Anthems. That'll help out. And then Trill's going to stare down this dread wraith and touch the and touch the brooch on her chest and cast Vitality Lash.
Okay.
And so that is a Fortitude save.
All right, here comes a Fortitude save. I rolled a 25.
Oh, I just beat it. That's so frustrating. Do I still roll damage?
If you weren't frightened, this would have been a fail.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. So does it take half damage on that? Or any damage?
It takes half that damage. So it does, but you see that all of that is going through this vitality damage, and it hisses. It goes, ah! As it seems like your ghost charges, your vitality lash are both doing the job that they're supposed to do.
Okay, and Trill takes a deep breath and leans back on her elbows.
As Trill leans back, this wraith leaps into action once more, and swings its hand out towards Mag and says, die. 19 on the die, a 40 to hit.
Woof.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's a critical hit.
Mag takes 44 points of damage and needs to make a fortitude save.
44 is a lot of damage. 32 for the save.
So you succeed. You feel your life starting to be drained out from you, but that winds up not hurting you. Like you are fine. However, you do see this creature, even though it doesn't drain any life out of you, it does feel like it is bolstering its negative essence, its void essence, just from reaching through you. I'm going to penalize myself now 1 action because I didn't spend an action flying last turn. So I'm going to spend my last action this turn flying to make up for that. And you know what? I still owe you an action because I'm slow. So that is it for the Dread Wraith's turn.
And I
So
missed an attack.
Istin's
I missed
slow
a
spell.
reactive strike. The thing cast a spell and I totally missed it. Barf.
It didn't cast a spell. It just tried to strike you. However, get ready for a reactive strike now as it takes the fly action to stay in place.
Okay. There we go.
Hit it.
I would dearly like to. How's a 1 on the die? Okie doke.
Hang on, Istin's going to try too.
Okay, so fumble card.
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Is this the ace of spades? If it is, Mag is going to do regular damage because that's how we do fumble cards now.
No, it is not.
It is the 8 of spades.
Armat.
So Mag's fumble misses. And Armat, what did you roll in your strike?
30 to hit?
That hits.
Okay. I don't know that it's going to do a ton. 16 damage, plus 1d6 vitality persistent.
Well, that 1d6 persistent vitality damage is definitely going to work, but some of that physical damage that you throw at it through your staff gets resisted. At the end of its turn, it loses the slowed effect, takes a full 6 points of vitality damage, tries to recover from this ongoing persistent damage, and fails. So now it's Mag's turn.
Nice.
I am going to start by trying to demoralize it. Is it already frightened? I think it's not anymore, right?
It is not anymore.
Okay, so I'm going to start by trying to demoralize it since I gather it has weaker will saves. Characteristically lame attempt. It's only a 24.
Its flaming red eyes stare through you, and it's unaffected.
All right, well, that causes Mag's rage to surge. So here's a little extra on the backswing for the strike from the Earthbreaker. 31 to hit.
That hits.
And come on, baby. 24 points of damage.
Not all of that goes through, but you are chipping away at it. This swing after swing, connecting with this creature is wearing it down.
Yeah. Well, let's try and wear it down again. One more attack. Probably not enough. 22.
That misses.
That's my turn. You'd think that I was not like sitting here on a plus 15 intimidation modifier. I'm not sure if I've ever successfully demoralized something, and it's all dice.
And in doing so, haven't you truly demoralized yourself?
Yes.
That's a great point.
Yes, I have.
So as Mag swings and misses, connecting once, missing once, it is now Istin's turn.
Yeah, Istin's going to leap right into it and go for a spell strike against the Dread Wraith. He's going to use Daze to try and target its will save, and this like purple Kirby crackle is going to start forming at the edges of his spell striker staff, and here goes a whole lot of nothing. 31 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. He has to make a will save to save against 4 mental damage.
Okay, here comes a will save. It gets
Oh,
a
yeah.
33. You get the impression that its will save might actually be pretty good.
Yeah, I was
Yikes.
sort of wondering that. Okay, well, that's more information we have, and Istin will be like, actually, its brain is quite good. Oh, it's spooky though. I don't like it. And that is 16 bludgeoning damage, 4 mental, and a 1d6 persistent vitality, which it already has on it.
So none of that mental damage goes through as it resists that. Some of that bludgeoning damage goes
Okay.
through, and of course that persistent vitality is getting the job done, as we've established.
Wowzers. Okay. Well, it's not really worth dropping into his arcane cascade stance because mental damage will just get blocked, it sounds like. So instead, I'm going to use Magus's analysis to try and recall knowledge about this thing.
Okay, religion.
20.
20. It's not going to get the job done.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know, I was so perplexed by the number of dice that you rolled that I missed a chance to do an attack of opportunity on you. So you get the impression that
Well, you should do it now, I think.
you got lucky. Yeah, okay, I'll
It's
do it
still
now.
with it.
Here we
do
go.
it now. It's still the same turn. Like,
Bad roll, 24 to hit us then.
ha! Get out of my face, Spectre. Yeah, you're not a wraith. You're only a little Spectre. Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Next.
Oh no.
Okay.
You're just the inventor of the wall of sound technique. Anyway.
At the top of round 3, Phil the Spectre bobs in place, and it is now Ao's turn. What is Ao going to do here?
First thing Ao is going to do is fire off a touch of sweet level 3 force barrage from that scroll she drew.
So this is going to be 6 shards of solidified magic flying at it.
Come on, solidified magic. All right, 15 plus my 6, so 21.
21 points of damage, and all of that is going through as just shoom, 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 shoom. This pure force lacerates this ghost, and it is now looking like you are starting to get the upper hand on it. At the end of Ao's turn, I owe Trill a lot because I have screwed her over in a couple ways that I need to do a mea culpa on. That creature should not have had the actions to demoralize her. So this this frightened 2 that she's been dealing with is something that should not have been happening to her, and that has been a significant issue for her. So
Yeah.
we're going to do a make good on this by I'm stripping the frightened away from you. I'm giving you a hero point, and you have 4 actions to do whatever you would like to on this turn.
Oh, what?
Because you would have connected more strongly last turn.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
Okay, so since you said Trill has 4 actions, 2 of those actions will be to harmonize and cast Dirge of Doom then.
Okay, this creature is going to be frightened 1 until the beginning of Trill's next turn.
Okay, so we've got that frightened 1, so 2 more actions. I think what I'm going to do this time is actually try and debuff it a little bit more. And Trill's going to, with her loot, cast Enfeeble. Because that is another fortitude save, and that seemed to work okay before.
Okay, here comes a fortitude save. 1 on the die, critical failure.
Whoa.
You managed to inflict what condition onto this?
So this is now
onto this
enfeebled
wraith.
3 for a minute.
Wow.
Heck
That's great. Man, Trill always comes back from nearly dying so well. The number of times she's nearly died.
I'm looking at its immunities. I'm like, do I get that? Do I get that? Do I get that? No, I get nothing.
It just gets enfeebled 3.
So you suck the strength out of this ghost, and it's like shrinking up even further into itself.
This is all while Trill's still on the ground. I love it.
Right, like maybe she's leaning up on an elbow and sort of like
She's got her loot. She's
Singing
like, it's like she's
stuff.
in a college dorm room.
Maybe she has like a one-handed instrument for times like this, like a harmonica or something. Emergency harmonica.
Harmonica's still 2 hands. What are you talking about?
Well, you could get something done with one hand. I don't know what, a thumb piano. I don't know what would be like a.
We'll look into this. We'll find it.
Like one of those eggs.
In case of
maraca?
emergency, blow through mouth harp.
Emergency maraca. It's funny.
I like Trill shaking a maraca while lying on the ground. This works for me. Okay. So Trill, in her turn, both frightened and enfeebled that wraith. That feels good.
Yes.
Big stuff.
Heck yeah.
The wraith, on its turn, whips around Mag and Istin to try to get a closer view of Istin because it doesn't like attacking Mag anymore. And it flies whoosh, quickly around to the north side of the
Does
pier.
that movement do anything since even though it didn't move away?
I think it's moving through my radius.
And mine.
It definitely is.
And what happens when you do that is a 37 to hit.
Ooh.
37
All right,
critical
things are
hit
picking
only
up.
because of Courageous Anthem and
Oh.
Frightened.
Oh, Trill's feeling good. Thank you.
And that's an
Needed the-
awesome damage roll. 60 damage.
What?
60 damage. This
That's
creature
wild.
gets slammed out of the air. David, tell me what this looks like as Mag destroys this wraith once and for all as it tries arrogantly to reposition.
Okay, I imagine it flies through the air and it tries to fly over the party. And as it does, Mag brings her Earthbreaker from the ground, like straight up in a 6 to 12 arc. And as she does, the head of the hammer catches. It's almost like if you were to hit a plastic bag that was being blown in the wind with like a shovel. And so the thing sort of starts like collapses, wraps around the Earthbreaker, and just at its point of greatest tension, it like breaks and vaporizes. And there's just
it like
puff
pops.
of it pops like one of those slow motion things that you see of like someone shooting a bullet through a water balloon or whatever. It's just like
Love it.
it just like pops and dematerializes in a wisp of mostly black smoke, but with 2 red trails of smoke from its eyes that like waft upwards and are the last things to disappear. Offhand, that's what I'd say it might have looked like.
That's amazing.
And with
That was fantastic.
the dock falls silent, and you just once more hear the sound of water lapping against the cavern. Your rowboat and the rowboat left behind here sort of ticking tink, tink, tink into the cavern wall from time to time.
Can I just say that I, David, feel drained too?
Yes.
Like I need to go sleep this off for a couple of days.
Trill, leaning still up against the wall, sitting on the dock, looks across the water at Mag's kind of where they are. They're kind of catty corner to each other, and looks at her very kind of lovingly, actually. I knew you'd always be my hero. As she leans back again and closes her eyes to rest for a moment.
And Mag maybe would move over to her, pushing past the others and kneel down and sort of maybe hold Trill's, support the back of Trill's neck to sort of try and hold her upright while Ao begins treating her.
Hang in there, Trill.
I know you got my back.
Oh, is your back hurt? And she sort of like flops her over onto her hand
Ao,
and begins.
you don't have to focus specifically on the back, I don't think.
Oh,
It's
back
mainly my-
injuries can be really deadly.
It's
You
mainly my
should pay
pride.
close attention to that, Probably talk to Adventurers Compensation as well.
What you do is you get one of those round bottles of holy water. You put it right under your hip flexor. You roll back and forth. It extends the psoas muscle, but that has a positive effect on the lower.
Hey, Mag, do you have any herbs or something you could grab that might be healing here?
Mag reaches into the bag of holding under H for healing and also herbs.
Herbs. All right, Robin, we're at...
Okay. She is healed. Took about half an hour, it looked like.
30 minutes of... Maybe we take Birdie out for a minute and let her say, oh, could Birdie have helped? Could we have done that faster if we took Birdie out? I'm imagining her now like Kermit the Frog, the Muppet. Like we sort of take her out and one of us cradles her.
Sticks her hands up her butt.
Why are there so many songs about...
Birdie,
Sunny.
as you open the bag and look at her and you see her sitting in this chair, she just says, hey, I know you can do this. You've got it. I believe in you.
Thanks, Birdie.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Trill plays Rainbow Connection on her lute.
Mag, you can
Trill will
fully heal.
refocus while
too.
she's getting healed.
Of course.
That seems reasonable.
And because of the remaster,
she's
you can
got one
you can
focus point
refocus
now.
twice. You can get all of your focus points back.
Oh, nice. God, I love that. Thank you, remaster.
That's the
Magical
biggest
wow,
boost
wow.
to player power, I think, in the remaster is you can just spend focus points and get them back just by resting longer periods of time.
It's amazing.
That combat gets you 60 experience points. I'm just going to say a low difficulty encounter made much more difficult because of the situation, right? Like,
Because Trill was at the front.
Yeah.
'Cause we were already drained to begin with.
absolutely. This is like a very strong sign of how this drain, the weariness that is being inflicted on you repeatedly is making everything much more difficult.
I should not be wounded anymore, right? Because the wounding condition ends if someone successfully restores hit points using treat wounds.
Absolutely. Correct.
Thank you.
I also think that you should lose the prone
still drained
condition.
4,
You can
though.
stand up anytime you want to. And that's a
Great.
gimme. That's a GM gimme. That's because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, that's the biggest boost to player power in the remaster.
OPE.
Lars, what time is it in game?
It is 11:30 in the morning. 11:20 in the morning. To put a finer point on it, 11:23 in the morning.
FYI, Trill's Trill's max hit points right now is 48. Because
Let's keep
she's
you
drained
on the back
4.
line.
So
That is less than Mag's final attack.
May I lend Trill some hit points?
I will let you know that if you try to get rid of drained via something like the sound body spell, there are 2 different effects as far as I'm concerned. One of those is from the Bodax, one of those is from the Wraith that are making that happen. So if you were to use sound body, you could reduce that, and you succeeded, you could reduce that condition down to drained 2, but not all the way to good.
That's not great.
I think maybe we need to head back.
I'm wondering.
God, it feels bad.
I don't
No, our
think
Matt's
that's a
saying,
good.
go ahead. But
I think we should push forward. We have just spent some resources. And if to clear
Sure.
drained, let's use the scroll.
Well, yeah, let's see. So that at least gets Trill's hit points back up. So yeah, I think Trill's going to reach into her wig and pull out that's the scroll of sound body, right?
Yeah, rank 4 sound body lets you clear out the
Sound
drain
body.
condition.
Yeah, out of the drain condition, yeah. Okay, so Trill's going to go ahead and use that sound body, the scroll of sound body.
And you get the impression that the drain that you got from the Bodax is going to be easier to clear.
Sorry, I just rolled it, so
Great. So what did you roll?
I rolled a 31.
That 31 beats the DC of the effect. So
Great.
that is a
Nice.
success, meaning that you counteract the target if its counteract rank is 5 or less. Its counteract rank is 4. So
Great. Okay.
you feel
Amazing.
your body gain strength. Like you feel like your breath enter your body strongly. Your muscles feel more capable.
Can Ao heal Trill once more then to get her back up to max?
Yeah, so let's call that 10 more minutes, and Trill's hit points are full as of 11:30 in the morning.
Great, thank you.
And what's your
That took some work.
yeah, what's your max hit points now?
She's now at 64, which is perfectly cromulent. Not amazing, but okay.
Okay. Here's the situation in front of you right now. Your rowboat is behind you on the dock. There's a second rowboat that has been docked here at the pier, and there is a iron-bound door in front of you leading into this mason work, this like stone structure that is built into the walls of this cavern. What do you do?
Well, there is another boat here, so it's possible
It could be in here.
someone went in here. Yeah.
Usually rowboats come in rounds.
And merrily, too.
The song is not about boats.
Thank you, David. We've been saying this for weeks now.
And it's never been more relevant. It's about life.
Thank you.
We going through this door?
Yeah, let's open the door gently.
I don't normally
Merrily?
ask this, but because it's so important right now, what's your marching order? Can you guys rearrange your tokens to be more or less where you think you should be as you open this door?
Well, Trill's first.
did we, like-
obviously.
Trill's gonna stay off to the side.
Ao does a quick listen and like fiddle for traps before stepping.
Yeah, you don't
to the
sense
side.
anything.
Nice.
Yeah,
Where she's then
you
hiding.
don't sense anything hidden here. You don't see any traps. You put your ear to the door just for a quick second before you resume hiding. You hear nothing. It is dead silent on the other side of this door.
So I'm guessing Mag is then in the lead and Trill and Ao on the flank.
I think that's got to be the idea.
Okay. And Ao I know is avoiding notice. Is somebody scouting?
Mag is definitely scouting.
Okay.
Trill's investigating.
Iston will be raising his parry staff.
Got it. You open the door and see a damp room with instead of a floor, it's like a pit that is filled with mud. On the other side of this room, there's a door leading deeper into this, whatever this building is.
Remember, Trill did sense magic on the other side of this door. So maybe we should investigate and see if there's some sort of magical trap in this muddy floor.
Or some sort of mud monster waiting
Maybe
to.
there's a haunt.
Yeah, could we I mean, we've usually used Mage Hand for this in the past. I could toss, some object in there or whatever and see how it behaves on the mud, but
Has Mag used her bedroll yet?
no, Mag takes out her bedroll.
No.
Well, like
And-
putting
Perfect.
your jacket up for a woman to walk through the mud. Old school.
Yeah. Or to make sure that the
Mag is
ground is not
classy.
going to devour her. And Mag tosses the bedroll at what seems to be a muddy or a deep point a few feet into the room.
The bedroll hits the mud, and you see the surface of the floor suddenly start roiling around, like there's something moving within the mud floor of this room. And then suddenly 4 bog mummies, these children of Belcora, pop up out of the mud and pounce on the bedroll and scream, "Mommy, we will defend you!" And we'll pick up from there next time.
Oh, God, these guys.
Those nerds.
The roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.